Hello, everybody. Okay, so yes, Sean is not here this today. Um, you get just me. Sean's real lifing, so here I am. Yay! For those of you who don't know, I am Anna, and this is our podcast, Waking Up. Not with me today is Sean. Sean is doing some pretty important nerdy stuff, so it's all good. It's all good. This is our podcast, Waking Up, where we talk about our religious trauma. We also talk about mental health and just all sorts of mental health issues and stuff. So solo streams are always really, really weird for me. And starting them off, I feel so awkward. And I've been doing this streaming thing for like 5 years. So that's cool. Cool. So here is our disclaimer. And then we can get started on my solo stream. Yay. Y'all, I haven't had any coffee. So you getting it raw, live, and in person. So here on Waking Up, we're not here to bash anybody's religious faith or their beliefs. We think that faith and religion are beautiful things when done in a mentally and emotionally healthy manner. I'm not a healthcare professional. I'm not even anywhere close. I've been through a lot of shit. I have a lot of opinions, and that's all they are. They're just opinions. Please do not take anything said on this podcast as a mental health advice or medical advice or any of that. This is just my opinion. This is just editorial. So please do not take this as professional advice. However, if you do need professional help and you do need and don't know where to start, we do have resources to help you get in touch with people who are professionals, and we'll get you the help that you need. All you have to do is hop into our team_AOA Discord and message one of us, and we will be happy to get you that information. Sean and I both grew up. We both grew up in the Carolinas in the 90s and early 2000s, back when the peak of all of that religious conservative fervor was happening, especially a lot of that martyrdom and true love waits garbage was happening. So yeah, we have a lot of deconstructing to go about. But yeah, here we are, and we survived, and here I am. So yeah, this is what you get. You get me. Thanks. All right. I'm trying to. All right. And if this is awkward and weird, you know what? It's fine. I don't have my co-host with me, so we get to be awkward together. It's like watching a train wreck. It's just, I don't know. It's weird talking to yourself. We've said this a lot on our streaming 101 panels, that sometimes you just gotta get used to talking to yourself. And I am used to talking to myself a lot, just not while other people are watching. So, and that's the shitter, is I used to have solo streams. I used to have like a couple of other shows where I would just do shit by myself and just talk. It's all over my YouTube. It's all over my Twitch. But now I don't do it as often because I don't stream as often, and almost all of my streams now are with somebody else. So me doing solo streams now feels uncomfortable, even though I've done it before. Which is a good transition to what we're talking about today. And I do that really weird nervous laugh. That laugh just now. Oh, it's often, and when I feel uncomfortable, I do that laugh, and I don't know why, and I have noticed it for years. Anybody else have that like twitch when you, like, the thing that you do when you're uncomfortable? Yeah. Hi, Asta. Yeah, Jay. The thing you do when you're uncomfortable, like you say things or you smile or you laugh a certain way. Yeah, I do that. It's fine. Welcome to the awkward. It's all gravy. And I'm fucking around with this thing trying to move it, and I can't figure it out. They say discomfort is good. According to my therapist, they say it's good. They say discomfort is good because we're relearning things. But that's, you know what? This is a great segue into what we're talking today. Because I'm talking about the discomfort of connection and vulnerability and connecting with other people and disconnecting from toxic things and toxic people and the disconnecting from all of that, and then having to reconnect or find new connections with other people. And how awkward that is, especially for any of us who are neurodivergent. And it's just hard enough talking with people we already know, like trying to make new connections. Yeah, no. Like, has anybody else been like that? I'm going to stay here in my house and they got to come to me. It's not 100% how it works, but it's fine. It's fine. But I was been talking a lot with some of my friends, and I've been having a lot of conversations with my therapist and my friends about this whole difficulty in connecting with people and feeling a connection with other people. And especially now that I am working on myself and my mental health and my healing of my trauma healing. And I have so much trauma around letting people in and being vulnerable, and other people weaponizing that vulnerability, that it is so difficult for me to be vulnerable and to connect and even reach out, and when I'm hurting or I need that connection or I'm down and it's dark, to reach out for that. It's so hard. Because now I want to protect what I have done, all the work that I've done, all the healing that I've done. I want to protect that. And so in turn, instead of, I feel that struggle. New connections, genuine connections are so difficult for me, Asta. I'm at a point I would prefer not to talk to anyone. Oh, I have that in here. Oh, we're getting to that. There's that whole isolation in trying to protect your peace. Yes. And it's so hard because I've done all this healing. I've done all this work, and I've done this fucking, I've cried the tears. I've done the journaling. And now that I am in this place, I want to control that environment. It's like a storage unit. It's like, okay, I want to be able to environmentally control that. So how can I do that? Limit the people that have access to my internal workings, that have access to me as a person and vulnerability, and I'm just going to limit that. Even though, the fucking irony of it all, if you knew how many times my therapist has looked at me and gone, really? You want connection? You want to feel loved and safe, and you want to rewrite that narrative in your head that your nervous system has written of how everybody is dangerous? You want to know how to do that? Connect. Open up to people. Be vulnerable. And then I want to throw a shoe at her. Like, no. Is there a way I can connect with people and not be vulnerable? Is there something we do that? She goes, yes, there's a way you can connect with people and not be vulnerable. But then it's superficial, and that's not what you want, because you got rid of all the superficial parts of the people in your life. Oh, I fucking hate it when she's right. So if you ever sit in your therapist's office, you fucking hate it when your therapist is right. Here's this. I'm not giving a connection at the moment. I feel like I just can't. Well, that's because connection also takes emotional energy. It takes, like I don't know about you, Asta, but I feel like it just takes so much because I'm coming from a place of trauma. I'm coming a place of yay, thanks, Asta. Bye, street. But I'm coming from a place of trauma and a place of like I am very conscious of what I'm giving my emotional energy to and the people I'm giving my emotional energy to. And it takes so much energy, so much emotional energy to connect with somebody, because not only are you opening yourself up, but you're also having to receive and it's just a lot. It's a lot. And I struggle with that so hard. Like, I struggle because I'm scared. Yeah, it costs me a lot of emotional energy of the time. It's more than I receive back. Yeah. I mean, and that's the rub of it all. Because being vulnerable and opening yourself up and connecting with other people, you're not guaranteed a return on investment. And you don't know that until you do it. And unfortunately, it's just one of those things. And so because of that, we don't do it. We just avoid the connection. We keep to ourselves. We say, I'm fine, when we're not fine, when we really want to spend time with people and we want to laugh with people. We want to share. We want those people that we can call when it's dark and it's scary, or we're lonely, or we're bored, or something triggers us. But that requires us to be open and vulnerable. And I don't do that very well at all. Not at all. Like, not anywhere close. I'm terrible at it. And I don't trust myself. I don't especially with my CPTSD and my BPD and all of this stuff, I don't trust myself, period. I guess I could go but it's plain and simple. I just don't trust myself. Like, I get very frightened of, if I connect with this person, if I make a new friend, if I, whatever, am I going to get too deep into this? Am I going to revert back to my old habits? And I don't want to do that. So I just avoid it, And I don't want people to judge me. Like, oh, this person's really great. I really feel safe with them. I enjoy hanging out with them. What are they going to think once they figure out all of the shit that I've been through and that I've done, and how I'm still not 100% healed, and I'm not finished, and I've still got a lot to work on, and I'm not perfect yet. So how can I give to somebody else? How can I connect with somebody? How can I possibly be a person worth being around? And how can I be a person worth being around if I'm not fixed yet? And yes, Ashley says, like, it's a terrible feeling. It's a terrible feeling, and it is our insecurity, and it is my insecurity. I'm so insecure. Okay, this has nothing to do with connection, but I mean, we're talking about insecurity, and this is my ADD, so we're going to follow that track until we get back on it. The I'm fine, where both people know it's not true, but one is that I don't want to be a burden. The other one feels like feels polite to leave me alone. Facts. But yesterday, actually Friday night, I was working, and I work some at night from home. I work in an office and I come home, and sometimes I work at night. And I was sitting, I had this thought that crept up in my head at the office. It said, because I'm a graphic designer, and I have this big project, and I was looking at it and I'm going, what if it's not good? What I was looking at some, like, it's halfway finished. I was looking at this, I was like, what if this is not good? What if, what? And I was like, okay, well, that's fine. It's just my insecurity. And then I got home last Friday night, and I was working, and I broke down in tears, just puddle. Like, I was just sobbing, and I was thinking, I felt like a fraud. I felt like the stuff that I have done isn't good, that it isn't good enough, that people are going to judge me, that I am judging me, that I am looking at this and it's boring and it's uninteresting and it's not. List the several trillion things my fucking trauma and insecurity decided to pop back up then, and I just sat there and I just cried and I cried and I cried. And that's it. I didn't use my tools. I didn't sit here and go, oh, it's not true. No. I just cried. I in a puddle of insecurity. And it's the most awful feeling when that creeps up. And it's so difficult because here's where that insecurity for me, especially when it comes to other people, creeps up. When we start moving towards, like, other than casual acquaintances. Say you meet somebody as a coworker or like a friend of a friend or whatever, and you're like, oh, this is cool. And you start either messaging on socials or you start talking, and you still have that safety of you aren't in person. You're not very personal. You can keep things still casual. You can curate what you say. And the insecurity and that feeling of I'm not good enough and they're going to see everything, and fear shows up when you have that connecting point. When all of a sudden you're just like, oh, this is nice. This is cool. They're a cool person. I enjoy hanging out with them. Then all of a sudden, either a conversation happens or some, like a random topic, and then you actually guys dive deep into actually connecting in a vulnerable way. That's when I get fucking, I'm like, I literally, sometimes I will throw my phone. I'll be like, okay, like this fear, because all of a sudden you're like, you want to almost lie to them. I don't know about you. Okay, I'm not going to say you. I'm going to say me. I almost want to lie to them. I want to lie, and I want to sort of graze over the things that make me look like a crazy, unstable, overly emotional, insecure, insecure person. I was gonna say bitch, but I'm not a bitch when unjustified. Oof, this is home. Yeah. Well, I'm glad it's connecting with you, Asta. Because I do this all the time, and it's gotten like I used to not have that problem especially when I first started streaming and I was doing things like in the middle. And for those of you who don't know, that was like a solo podcast I had like 3 years ago. 2 or 3 years ago, where I would talk about mental health and what I was going through and being open. And I'll do some impromptu solo streams like that. And I would just be vulnerable and I would throw my shit out on the internet. But now I have a lot of, I've withdrawn a lot within to myself. Probably why I haven't solo streamed in a long time. Because I'm scared. I'm terrified. I'm so terrified. I'm terrified of you guys like thinking I am. Well, why are you still bothered by this? Aren't you like I don't? And especially it's like, well, I don't have the answers, and I am not put together, and I go through so much shit on a daily basis. Like, it's so hard, and I don't want people to see that. And just like Jay said, I'm fine. It's fine. And I feel like that's a part of me that's reverting. I've moved forward in so many areas of my life, but I feel like that's a part that I've actually reverted back to the safety of looking and presenting as perfect. Hide behind the mask. The mask of perfection is safety. In my corner, because I have a habit of unintentionally pushing away because of my insecurities. And it's the self-sabotage of that, Asta. I feel that. How many of us self-sabotage? I do it. A lot, actually. I mean, you see you see me on the internet 2 or 3 hours a week, but the rest of the time I am fucking digging a hole. I'm digging a hole just to crawl out and get back in the hole that I self-sabotage because I would rather be the person. I would rather have control over the destruction of whatever connection and relationship that I have with that person than to just let it fall apart. Which seems so... Honestly, it seems so counterproductive. And I think that... I don't know why I self-sabotage. I'm sure that there's a fucking journal entry in there. I'm sure. I am 100% sure that there is like hours and hours worth of therapy we can unpack in that one. I think I do it because I never feel really safe, and being alone, I am safe. Yes, I can relate to that. I think that there's more part for me is, no, I think you're right. There's safety. There's safety in being by yourself. There's safety. Because I think when you don't let people in, when you're not vulnerable, when you're not connected in that way that you need that connection, there is a safety, especially when you have had your vulnerability weaponized. I think for me, that's the biggest part of it. I've had my vulnerability weaponized so much, and has been weaponized to the point where it is so damaging that I still carry it around, that it's difficult. And I lost a lot of people when I started getting better, when I started healing, when I really just decided I can't be the person that I was at that time anymore. I lost a lot of people in my life, and I lost a lot of people that I loved and cared for deeply. And I wonder, I don't know. I think there's a part where I gaslight myself, and I think it's not that bad. It wasn't that bad. I'm getting better. I am getting better. Why are there less people to support me? Why, when I was I think that's the thing that just makes me angry and just fucks me. Why had a better social life, and I had a bigger circle of friends, and I had more people around me? Why did I have more people and more friends and a better social life when I was fucked up and emotionally unstable, and I was practicing toxic behaviors, and I was just a broken hot mess? And now that I am working on myself, and I'm working on my trauma healing, and I'm working on these things, and I'm working on trying to surround myself with healthy people and be healthy and be just a better person than I was yesterday, why is it that I'm more alone now than I was back then? and feel love will need to go away and prove yourself. You're right. And I've read so many of that. I've read the, they used you and now they can't use you, and the whole reason they were around you is because you didn't have any boundaries, and you were predictable. I think that it does fucking hurt. I think that's what they don't say. It's like, okay, well, you're going to lose people. It's terrible, and it's lonely. And I get it. I'm no longer performative. The connections and people that I want in my life, I don't want a performative relationship. Paragon, more people to support you can also mean more people to hold you back. Stress for support may end up being keeping you from growing just because they hold you from going outwards. Yes. And it's hard, especially when you're growing and you're evolving and you're healing, because especially when you're still in the process and you haven't been healing for too long, and I'm still healing. I still struggle with, is this a good person? Do I really feel a real genuine connection with them versus do I just not want to be lonely? And that's hard. That's hard to distinguish. Is this connection temporary, or is this a real, genuine, grounded connection? And I don't know the difference. And there's nobody that can teach you that. That's the thing, is just your therapist is like, okay. But it's like, I was talking with a friend the other day. It's like, okay, I don't know how to connect with people from a place of peace. I don't know how to connect with somebody from a place of peace, from a place of security for myself. And it's so difficult. I am at a place where yes, I'm still insecure, and yes, I have my insecurities, but just like any other person, but from a place of, I don't have that anxious anxiety. I don't have that anxious attachment. I am in a more stable attachment place where I want connections, not because I need something emotionally from them and I have a fear of losing people, but I'm coming from a place of, right now, from my trauma healing and from my work, my attachment style work, and all of the things that I am working on in my therapy, I am now in a place of, I no longer feel that like grabby, as they like to say, graspy, like, oh, please like me, please, I'm going to do everything I can for you to like me, I'm going to do everything I can, etc. and so forth. But I'm not coming from that place anymore. I'm coming from a place of, I like you. I think you're great. I enjoy your company. And I really hope you like me back. But if you don't like me back, I understand. Well, I feel bummed about it, yeah. But I don't know how to get past that point. When they say, okay, when I'm like, okay, if you like me back, great. If you want to be my friend, you want to hang out, perfect. But then they're like, they reciprocate that. They're like, sure, I think you're great. I think you're wonderful. I would love to make a connection with you. And when I say connection, I'm not saying like, oh, like dating, or, I mean, which all of it applies. Relationships are relationships, regardless of the level of that they are. Recently, I had a friend I'm always sure that I'd sort of let go of because I found out via my therapist they were holding me back from evolving. Oh, yay! Both you and Asta Paragon, yay! That's hard too. When you have somebody that's been in your life forever and ever and ever and ever, and because they've been in your life forever, you can't see that. And there's a part of you that doesn't want to see that. And I'm going to be real honest for myself. I don't want to see that. There's somebody who's been in my life forever. They've been my friend forever. They've been, and recognizing, and it's like that glass shattering moment where They've been my friend forever, and I didn't want to see it. I knew it. I made excuses for it. I justified it to myself. That's just them being them. That's just who they are. That's just what they do. That's just how they love. That's just whatever. The reality is, I'm just being over critical on them. They've always been there. That, Paragon. And I'm going to repeat it for the people in the back. This is what you say to yourself when you have somebody. I'm just being overcritical of them. They've always been there for me. They'd never do something to hurt me. But that's just you gaslighting yourself. And I say that all the time to myself. And it's so hard because you don't want to see it. Because you do love them. You do care about them. But in that moment, that connection with that person is not good for you. And you can either hold that connection and it can keep short-circuiting whatever it is you got going on in your life, or you can go, you know what? Maybe I need to disconnect from them for a little bit, and they work on themselves and do their thing and whatever. And if we are meant to reconnect later, then we will. Prime example, Sean and I. Sean and I did not talk for like 15 years. Like 15 years. And he like followed me on Facebook, and then he had to block me again because of his ex-wife, and that was a whole story. But we weren't in a place, I think. And him and I have talked about this a lot. I don't think our friendship would have survived had we stayed connected the whole time. I think with his trauma and my trauma and what I was going through and what he was going through, I don't think our friendship would have survived. And I don't think our friendship would have been because we've been through a lot of shit in the past, actually, couple of years. There's a lot of stuff that you guys, we keep private because it's private. That's our business. But that I don't think that there are things that in the past couple of years that Sean and I would have survived if we had stayed connected through the whole time. I think it's because we made a conscious choice 15 years later, going, no, okay, we want to connect, and yes, this is something we kind of connect, but we also recognize that there's a lot that we have to weed out. It's hard. And you know what's the worst? That's the worst is when you disconnect from those people, and you just like, you follow them on socials and you watch their life, and you desperately want to message them, and you want to connect with them, but you know that you can't or shouldn't because you're not there yet. You're not feeling like, will this be beneficial for me? And usually the answer is not right now. That's the hardest. So I have to mute people at that point. I don't want to necessarily block them because they haven't done anything really wrong, but I just have to mute them so that they don't keep recurring in my feeds. It's so bad. People don't realize that, just like a job. You need a vacation. Absolutely. It's out of my head. I have enough. And everybody handles relationships differently because they're trauma. And I think that is also something that they don't talk about in connection. People connect differently. And it's like, it makes me think of like, I'm about to show my age, but like the Craigslist missed connection section. You guys are fucking, I know the Craigslist is still out there, and I know that it's, I don't know, it's like the dark web at this point. It's something. I haven't been on Craigslist in like years, so I don't even know if it still exists, but they had the missed connections, I often feel that too. And you're ever sitting with somebody and you're talking with somebody, and they think that they're giving you signals, or they're giving you signs that they're being vulnerable, or they want to connect with you, or they want to hang out with you more, or they want to do these things, and you completely miss it because how they're doing it is triggering your, oh, they don't like me anymore, they don't want to be around me, or they're just, whatever, and and you're totally seeing each other and the signals and the information through your own trauma filter, so you're just completely missing each other. You're like whipping. It's like whip, like you feel that breeze in your hair. Not the misconnection section, right? I used to sometimes go on that just to read it because it was hysterical. To the girl who was riding the E train and had a yellow book bag, I thought you were super cute and I enjoy, like, I don't know. Yeah. Like, who? What are the chances? I mean, I guess, Anya, good on you for being brave enough to throw that shit out there. Craigslist is up there getting close to the Epstein files. So that's so American. It is so American. It is very much American. Oh, God. But here's something, a question that I ask myself often. I'm just curious how you guys feel about it too. Do you ever not make the effort to connect with other people, whether it be friends or love interests or whatever? You don't open yourself up because you feel like you still have to earn that love. And this person that you're talking to, this, or having a conversation with, or you're trying to connect with, seems so wonderful and so put together, and so whatever image of them you have made up in your mind, that you feel like, I'm not good enough for them. I'm not good enough to be their friend. I'm not good enough for them to be interested in me because I don't deserve it, because I don't have anything to offer them, because I need to earn that love. Every day, yeah. Because love is, to those of us who struggle with connection and struggle with childhood trauma, and especially those of us, I mean, I'm not saying those with all different traumas, but like those, I have childhood trauma. I'm trying to not be generalized and put that out in the public. I need to think more about myself, but I have childhood trauma. And the love was always very conditional. When I was dysregulated or hurting or sad or disappointed or whatever, having big emotions, I was sent to my room by myself until I was able to pull myself together and figure it out. Until I was put together and I was okay. And when I was okay, that's when I could get the love and affection that I needed. I was only worth what I was capable of doing for somebody else. I was only worth getting good grades when I got good grades. I was only worth complimenting when I was thin and beautiful. I was only worth being a good person when I let people violate my boundaries, when I let them take everything they needed, even though I needed, like, that was not okay. So when I have this person that I really think is great and I really want to connect with, that fear of, I'm too broken and I'm tired and I'm healing. I'm not completely healed, and I'm all of the flaws start flowing in your head, and it's like, I don't have anything to give them. I don't have any emotional or mental energy to earn that love that I want. So I just don't. And that's not real love. That is me making a choice for somebody else and saying, I don't think you'll love me as me, so I'm just going to keep you at arm's length. I uh, ooh, I said that off the cuff, and now that pause was me it landing really hard because I self isolate all the time. Don't don't let people in. I don't let people in anymore. I keep everyone, even my support system, I keep them a little bit at arm's length because I don't think that they'll love me at my worst, or when I'm broken, or I'm having a moment, or I've made a mistake, or I'm triggered. I don't think that they'll love me or respect me, and I don't want them to see me that way in the darkness. I don't want them to see that. So I'm just not going to let you in. And that's not love. And I so desperately want to be loved. And I want to feel safe. And right now, it feels really lonely, if I'm being honest. And I think that there is a part of me there's a part of me it's like, hey, I want to connect. But I don't want to seem needy because I've been the needy, graspy person, so I don't want to come off that way. So it's almost like I do it the pep way. I sort of throw it out there and then just leave it. And if they never say anything again, then I got my answer, right? That's so dumb. If I throw it out one time, and they didn't do it, then that's fine. Then they just don't want to connect. What if they just didn't realize that's what I was doing? Like, I really hate having solo streams because, like, when I have to drink or I have to pause or I have to gather my thoughts, there's just like this long thing of silence. I really wish there was a button that was like, sorry about that. Even question when they see the darkness and stay. Oh, fuck yes. And a friend of mine, I had so many friends who are just like, I don't want to do the dating app thing, but I don't want to be alone either. But how do I find people? How do I find and connect with people? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not saying like it's all about dating, but it's like, because there's like all these apps and like, ooh, here's a thought. And I might be talking out my ass. I'm talking about my ass this whole podcast, but okay. So, have you noticed? Yes, there's like this big chunk of our, like the Zennials, the millennials, like that group of people. Like Gen Z's all doing they're the Tinder, Bumble. They just go out and find, they'll connect with people, whatever, blah blah blah. You know, but like our millennial generation, we're over that cusp of, we had internet, then we didn't have internet, then we have internet. So like all of a sudden we have these we find people? How do we make friends? And then on top of that, we're also the generation who is healing all of our trauma from our fucking boomers, older Gen Xer parents who were just like scarred us for life. So we're doing all the things of like healing. And so now we're healed and now we don't want people. How do you find people in a generation, in a era or time where you didn't have the internet? Now I owe them and have to prove that it's not my normal everyday, right? Hey, I'm Gen X. Okay. I mean, that's fair. I'm not saying all, again, it's general, but like, nobody fucks with Gen X, by the way, Asa. No one. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Anybody in that age group, I'm just like, no. You good. I'm just gonna let that slide. Nope, I don't. It was not easy for y'all. But how do you connect with people in a world that's all fake? I think that's the issue that I have. It's like even, and there are apps for just finding people, like friends. There's not like Bumble for Friends, or like there's a whole bunch of like social connection apps that aren't dating. I mean, a lot of them are dating, but some of them are not. And it's just, how do you find a real connection in a world that is curated? And I think for me, it's so hard, and I don't like those apps. Like, I literally downloaded Bumble for Friends, like just trying to find friends. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I'm going to admit that. And I just deleted it after a week. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Because it was like, everything was so curated. Everything was so fake. And I've spent too much money and too much emotional and mental energy and too much time trying to make real connections and heal from being fake and pretending to be somebody so that they'll like me. I wish there was a code word. You know, like the sleeper agents have, where, you know, they just automatically, like, you say the code phrase or the code word and they instantly like come to life and do it. I wish there was that. Like, when I find somebody that I want to make a real genuine connection to, I can say, like, you know, Shirley Temple's in the tomb. I don't know. And they instantly like, oh, we're friends now. Yep. I don't know why I came up with that phrase. That was just the thing that I was saying. But the reality is I have to start small. Okay, are you good? Nope. No. I am lonely. I'm being real honest. And I'm scared. I'm lonely and I'm scared, and I want my inner child, the need that I have deep inside. Oh, yeah. I mean, your pets, absolutely. Like, I have my cat and my kids. I mean, my kids are great people to be around, but I also I am not going to lean on them for emotional support. I mean, I get cuddles from them, but it's not their job to be an adult and handle adult problems. My mom did that. My mom, like, they don't, there are things that They need to be children. It is different. I want that connection. I want that connection. I want to feel safe being a mess with people. And it doesn't have to be a lot of people. I think that's the thing, is I don't want it, like, I used to like the more friends I had, but it's not even that. It's just lonely when you're healing. I have to start small. I know that. And I know I can't rush things, because that was what got me in trouble in the first place, especially when I was making friends or romantic connections. It's because I would be just like, oh, you showed interest in me. Oh, you don't actually hate my guts. Oh, okay. I am going to give you everything about who I am and change everything about who I am so that you never leave me. Is anxious attachment. That is unhealthy, and we're not doing that. Everything needs to be small and slow. Intentional. You know? Oh, okay. Do y'all apologize, especially with the new people, your new friends, new whatever, like people who haven't even been in your life for a long time or been around? Do you guys still apologize for being a mess? Like, you want this connection. You want people to love you even in your darkest hour, but you apologize for letting them see you in your darkest hour? Like that, all the time. That was me. Let me change everything. Oh, that was me. That was a way of life. I think that's the problem that I'm having right now. I think, Jay, that is the problem that I'm having, is I am in the era of my life of healing, an era of my life of therapy, where I finally like who I am. I am learning who I am. I am growing, and I am discovering who I am as a person. I am discovering who I am in this. I am building and creating this person who feels safe. I am creating this person and curating and loving this person that I am right now, whether I'm complete or not. I like who I am right now. So I don't fucking know how to connect with somebody by not changing everything about myself and agreeing with everything, and like, oh, you like underwater polo? That's great. Like, I don't know anything about it, but let me like do all the research and try so that, like, I don't know how to not do that shit. I don't. I don't know how to be me in a friendship, in a relationship. I don't know how to be me. And so I just don't. I'm thinking, you get what you get. But at the same time, I'm like, I can still be me, and I don't have to worry about like not putting myself in that uncomfortable situation if I just don't put myself in that uncomfortable situation. I don't have to apologize for being a mess. I have the other trauma, lock it down, figure it out. Oh, I find that's a very fake. Not always. I find a lot of males in our generation, that's how they work on stuff. Excuse me. I have apologized so much that they just walked away when I did it. Hi, Nev. Yeah. I was, I still apologize. Even to people that have seen me at my darkest, who I know I am safe around. I know. Like the other day, I was having lunch with a friend, and I ended up, they had asked me a question, and I answered it, and then I just started to silently cry. And then once lunch was over and, everything was fine, like I'm so sorry. I didn't, I'm sorry that I was a Debbie Downer. I'm sorry I brought lunch down. I'm sorry to do all this stuff. They're like, it's fine. You needed a safe space. It's fine. But I didn't feel like it was fine. I like in my head, I had curated them leaving the restaurant, and I had curated this thought process for them. I had inserted this thought process in their head from me. Like there she goes being dramatic again. Like, God, can't even get through one lunch with her having a breakdown. Like that is the conversation that I created that they were having. To themselves. So I was like, so if I'm doing that with people that have seen me at my worst, and I know that will still love me, how the fuck am I supposed to make a new connection with people and let them see all the ugly? Nope. Nope. My therapist usually says, you just have to do it. You can't teach yourself how to connect with healthy people. You can't have healthy connections without practicing healthy connections. Is there a way I can bypass that? That would be great. Thanks. Can I not talk to people and still have somebody to talk to? I mean, I know ChatGPTs, they're great and everything. Maybe that's why it's grown in so much popularity, is because there's no real connection there. Shower conversations outside of the shower, right? You formulate those situations in your head and you go all Stanley Kubrick on yourself, and the fact that because they didn't go 100% by the script, and even if it ends up for the better, how dare they not follow the lines, right? But the reality is, folks, and I'm saying this for myself, the reality is I can't connect with people unless I'm honest. I can't have healthy connections unless I am honest. And I am vulnerable. And I am uncomfortable. And I can't find real connections unless I allow myself to be open to connect with. And I mean healthy connections, not the ones that I've carefully curated, because I am really, really good at curating this perfection of I am the perfect friend, and I am very understanding, and I never lose my cool. I am really good at that. What I'm not really good at is admitting my massive insecurity, my huge imposter syndrome, my need to feel love and affection. I'm a touchy-feely person, even with my friends, like, which is weird because then I get overstimulated, but it's fine. But that's the most scary part, to be honest. It is. It's hard. But I have to remind myself that the only way I can grow healthy connections and I can retrain my nervous system to feel safe within my friendships and relationships. And the only way that I can do that is to actually practice it. I don't want to. How do we learn to make something new? How do we make the uncomfortable comfortable? Practice repeatedly, not just a one time and, oh, well, it just didn't happen, so I'm just going to leave it alone. I mean, obviously you have to set boundaries. Like if this person you're wanting to connect with just doesn't receive that, then you have to, then it's the learning to, okay, well, they don't want to connect, and understanding that I didn't fail. It just wasn't meant to be, and moving on, and not wrecking myself of, well, this person doesn't want to open up or be vulnerable or connect with me, so what is wrong with me? Because that's what I do. This person doesn't want to connect with me. This person doesn't want to, doesn't think I'm good enough. So what's wrong with me? And then I spend the next 6 months wondering what's wrong with me. Nothing's wrong with me. My fear is too big to open up and be rejected. That's what bravery is. Bravery is being afraid and still doing what needs to be done. You can't have bravery without fear. Because no fear is just recklessness. So we have to be brave. I think you do. You just don't realize it, but I could be wrong. Because you're still here. You're still breathing and moving forward. And sometimes that's the bravest thing you can do. Especially from what little I know of your trauma and all this stuff and all the things that you're working through. That's brave. Are you doing it perfectly? Probably not. None of us are. I know. I certainly am not. I always go hide when it gets really hard because I feel a burden. Okay. Keep getting up and you keep trying. And that's brave. Bravery isn't saving the nation or taking big steps, and connecting isn't necessarily, being best friends in the first lunch or whatever. It's sort of like weight loss. Everybody wants to be skinny, so they always try the fast, easy way. How can I drop 50 pounds? And the quick way to do all of that. But the reality is the healthy way is slow. The healthy way of connecting with myself and with people is slow. Little things, one at a time. I don't like doing things slow. I'm a Leroy Jenkins type of person. What is the fastest way to get there, and how can I bulldoze through it? We've all seen that in a lot of, like, we've talked in a lot of waking ups and all of this stuff. I just want to get from point A to point Z in the fastest way possible. What's the hardest thing that I can do is there extra credit? Because I want to do the extra credit so I can move ahead. And my therapist goes, that's not how this works. One at a time, one little thing at a time. And then I wonder, I want to do everything all at once. I want to connect with people all at once. I want to do all of the things. I want it to be I want to go from not having good connections to having really healthy relationships just instantly. And I don't want to do all of the things. And when I'm doing my healing, I want to go from point A to point Z, and I want to do all of the extra credit because I want to do the hard things because I want to get it done faster. And then I wonder why I feel overwhelmed and like everything is too big. And then I break down under the weight of my own overambition. Interesting. Okay, so I guess all I'm going to say is the reality of what I need is I want connection. I'm feeling lonely and I am isolating myself because I am terrified. I am terrified. I am terrified of people seeing my ugly. I am terrified of not being perfect. And that's a little bit of a regression for me. But I always said that we were going to be honest on here, so that's what I'm doing. I am terrified of not being perfect and being judged. I am terrified that people are going to have this assumption that I am not insecure. Like I think that's the big thing. The insecurity part is the worst, because I have a lot of insecurity and I am terrified I'm going to come off as needy and feel shame for that. And I because I have body dysmorphia and I struggle with how I see myself and view myself, then how I need reassurance about a lot of things. And it's not necessarily that I need it to continue through my day, but if I want to connect with somebody, I need that reassurance that no matter how I look or what I think or anything, that they still think that I am good looking and that they still love me and they still care about me and they still like being around me, because the inner voices in my head, especially when I care about somebody else, gets really loud and really dark. They're not going to love you. They're not going to love you. Like, this person is really great and they're not going to love you if you don't give them everything that they need, and you don't come off perfect, and they're not going to love you if you ask for what you need and you set this boundary, even though it makes you uncomfortable. And yeah, they did something that hurt you and made you angry, but don't say anything. Just go figure it out and just act like it's fine, that you're unfazed, that you're cool, that it's all, you're unbothered by it, that you're understanding. Because if they knew the real feelings and they knew the real you and they knew all your dirt and garbage and your dark thoughts and your hurt and all of that, then they are going to run. And I don't want them to run. So I just don't connect. Right? Right? It's safe here. Except it's not. So I have to start slow. One thing at a time. And you know what? That also doesn't mean that I have to completely, my therapist told me this, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to go trauma dumping on them. And you go out to lunch with somebody you want to be friends with. That doesn't necessarily, you start like, here's all of my shit. That's not healthy either. I I don't know what balance is. I don't know how to make connection. I don't know. I'm not perfect. I'm not put together, and I'm terrified, and I'm scared. But I don't stop feeling lonely without doing what I need to do to reach out and connect with people.